And Lee, thank you, but you still owe me some eggs. I want to tell you how happy I am that y'all got me out of Baton Rouge. The only person who's not too happy is my wife, because I left her there. She said, why can't I go with you? I said, honey, somebody has to watch the legislature while I'm gone. You know, it's my honor to be here to make my first trip to Southwest Louisiana as your governor. But I would like to bring up to the stage with me and introduce your Southwest Louisiana delegation. Senator Stein, Senator Abraham, Representative Romero, Representative Boriak, I gotta tell you, these guys have been unbelievable for you. I also want to again congratulate you on the 120th anniversary of this important and vital organization. You know, I know y'all all know that this latest weather event caused a tremendous problem with traffic in this town. Is the secretary still here? Our new secretary, Joe? Joe, come on up. Let me just take you while we're up here. Y'all don't roast him. Y'all give him a round of applause. This guy is your new secretary of DOT. Now I want to address this weather event, because I want you to know that there were some things that happened that were completely unavoidable. However, there may have been some things that were avoidable. Now, poor Joe has just taken his job and he's only been in there 8 days. And so you can't hold whatever might have happened that was avoidable under him. But he, I, and the Louisiana State Police are going to conduct an after-action review of what happened to find out if there were some things that were avoidable, and we're going to correct that. But I will tell you that if the bridge that I'm about to announce would have been in place, none of that would have happened. Now, you know, I've always been told that there are only two best times to plant a tree. It's either today or 30 years ago. And if we would have planted that bridge at least 7 years ago, again, we wouldn't have had that unfortunate event. A few months ago, while we were in the middle of running for governor, the prior administration tried to rush a deal that would absolutely have saddled this community with bridge tolls that I believed were too high. A deal that cost too much, and a deal that brought no long-term benefit to Lake Charles, this region, or the state. Because of these brave men and a few others who are still stuck in Baton Rouge, your delegation, because they said no, because they believed that there were a better deal. Today, we are going to give you that better deal. So here's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to get the same bridge and over 5 miles of new interstate and frontage roads, but the cost is going to be 25% less. The tolls across the board have been dramatically reduced, in my opinion. They've been reduced by some 26%. And it's important to recognize that local tolls in the old deal, which we were told was only 25 cents, was actually not true. Because it was 25 cents if you had a real small car, but if you were a cowboy, it was going to cost you $3.82 to cross the bridge, even if you were local. Did y'all know that? When we started digging into these details, and I'll tell you something else too, there are some folks in this audience who have asked not to be named, who worked hand in hand with this delegation to work through this contract to find these particulars to get us to this better deal. So the old deal, if you had a large pickup truck, you were going to pay $3.82. Today you're paying 25 cents. We've reduced the commercial truck tolls, I think 26% as well, right? Yeah, on average. 30% discount. And I think that that's a significant amount. And so in 3 months, we got that done, but we got more. We got a lot more. You know, I don't like to pay tolls. I want you to know that. I don't think nobody likes to pay tolls. But you know, if you go across the South, and you don't have to go far if you head west, you see states with great infrastructure that have put in place tolls. And, you know, we complain about the people that we keep losing, who leave this state to go to other states. A lot of people leave and go. How many of y'all know someone who's moved out here and went to Texas? How many of y'all? Let's raise your hand. Okay. Don't you think it's time that those people from out of Louisiana help us pay for our infrastructure? This project says that 60% of the people who will pay those tolls are not even from Louisiana. In my book, that is one hell of a deal. Now, here's the great part. On top of all the great things we got, we have negotiated a 15% equity position in this bridge for you with no risk. Now let me say this again. This area is going to get a 15% equity position, meaning anytime that project has $1 of profit in it, you're going to get 15 cents. For every $100, you're going to get $15. Now I know many of you would say, oh, well, how are you going to make sure that we get it? Yeah, because it's in the contract. And the great news is the equity position that you now have in that bridge can be used to further reduce the tolls, if that's what y'all so choose. It can also be used to fund other infrastructure needs in your area, and that money is going to be locked down for Imperial Calcasieu. It's not going anywhere else but right here in Imperial Calcasieu. And these legislators, look, I'm here, I'm making a promise to y'all. Y'all know me, y'all have heard me on the campaign trail. I don't like to make a whole lot of promises that I can't keep. So this one, they're going to have to help me. Because we're going to go into the session, in the regular session, and they are going to help me codify that 15% equity position for you all in law to make sure that none of that money ever goes anywhere else but in Imperial Calcasieu. And so, I want you to know that we are now going to get this project off the ground. I promised y'all a bridge. Many people have promised y'all a bridge. We are going to have 7 years. If you don't like the 25 cents, we are going to work. In fact, I got a letter from Congressman Clay Higgins today, who wanted me to assure you that he is willing and waiting to work with this delegation and me over the next 7 years to do everything we can to find more federal funding for that bridge so that we can further reduce the tolls. And so I'll just close by saying this. This is an unbelievable example of how we can take lemons and make some lemonade. This is an unbelievable example about when everyone comes together, when everyone works real hard, when everyone can put aside some of the things that we may like to achieve that which we want to love, we can start to make Louisiana great again. Unbelievable of a state that is going to compete with our southern states. And so my ask to you is to continue to work with us, to help us support this deal, to make sure that we make this a reality so we can break some ground and see some concrete and get some relief. And my hope is that when we cut the ribbon, we will be able to say we even further reduce the tolls. And when we look back, that bridge will be a source of income that will allow you to further your infrastructure positions in this corner of the state. God bless you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.